Welcome to the GR Rideshare Adventures Podcast. Rideshare infotainment for the new driver, old driver, and everyone in between.
Hi guys, welcome to the GR Rideshare Adventure Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. This studio is sponsored by Irvine's Auto Repair in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And they're located at 44th and 44th and Stafford in Grand Rapids. So how's everyone doing tonight? Thank you so much. We got Jesper in the house and Sam. Ben's off again tonight, still dealing with that back, and plus he hasn't drove, so we don't really, he didn't have anything to contribute.
We just got a new telegram.
Remember? A new telegram? Well, we're not even there yet.
Leo, I know, but it just popped up.
Oh, so. That's exciting.
Leo.
Yeah.
Again, this studio is sponsored by Irvine's Auto Repair. Let's try that again. They are off of 44th Street on Stafford, just east of 131. So, oh yeah, he's from Detroit.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, yep, Ben's off tonight. Sam, why don't you introduce our GR Rideshare Weight Loss Challenge?
All right, guys. So we've been talking back and forth for a little while about maybe doing a weight loss challenge for the community because we could all probably stand to get a little healthier.
Yeah,
we are in the car all the time.
All the time. We sit.
And most of us don't eat super awesome because drive-thrus are convenient.
Oh, they're so convenient.
And 3 a.m. pizza is delicious. So
where were you?
Yeah.
I was in bed.
Yeah,
passed
whatever.
out. It was fantastic.
Yeah, you didn't even drive that night.
No, I did. I just went home at like 1 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, you hit your goal.
I did.
But it was Vito's.
I've never been to Vito's.
You lost
It's-
out on Vito's.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
It's greasy
It's
pizza.
it's okay.
Good at
But
3 o'clock in the
well,
morning.
at 3 a.m. a lot of things are good.
Wow, we're already going
Do
there.
you want to talk of some? Be more specific, yes, Sam?
No. So yeah, we thought we'd put this together, and then Justin really helped bring it home the other day, encouraging us to do in the chat. So what the gist is we're going to do a 12-week weight loss challenge starting on Monday, December 2nd. And you have to, it's a $20 buy-in. And then the winner will be, the top two winners are going to split the prize winnings 70-30. And
So 70 first place, 30 second place.
right, yes.
Yeah.
And you'll get a Visa gift card.
Yes, that'll come on a gift card for you. And effectively, you just have to weigh in every Monday for us. Send us a picture of the number on the scale. You send it to me personally. If you want to show off and put it in our Telegram chat, you are more than welcome. Encouragement will be, along with that. That's great. And I will keep a running score, and whoever has the highest percentage weight loss will be the winners. And I'll keep you guys updated regularly on who's in the lead, and just, it'll be some motivation and some joking. And yeah, so definitely if you're interested, join our Telegram chat. The rules are posted in there for what to do and where to send your $20. And hopefully it'll be a good experience. I think it'll be positive for all of us, just working together, being accountable to each other, and hopefully losing a little weight in the process.
Yeah, so at least it's percentage of weight loss, kind of like Biggest Loser. So it doesn't matter if you lose 100 pounds. If you're 1,000 pounds, that's not going to cut it for percentage.
Right.
Well,
Yes.
I'm not going to do the math on that, but
No, you shouldn't try.
Sam's the number person, so
Right.
she's going to do the math. I neglected. I realized did not put that link in the show notes. I know somebody can probably share it in the chat, but I know some people can't click on it. But I will, once I go post edit it, I will add the weight loss Telegram link in there. So
And again, if you don't already have, oh my gosh, I can't talk. If you don't already have Telegram, install that first on your phone, Android or iPad, iPhone, whatever, and then click on the link, and then you'll be taken to the group.
For the meantime, if you click on the link that's in there right now for Telegram, it'll get you in the main group, and then pinned at the top of that chat is the weight loss chat group. So, yep, I'm kind of excited about that. I'm not. I mean, I'm excited for the competition. I'm not excited to eat. I'm not excited to eat healthy.
No, I don't think anybody is.
But what I do appreciate is that you're starting it on Monday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin Thanksgiving for anybody. It'll still be a little challenging at Christmas. But,
But I think what's perfect
if you're doing
is
really good until then, one day is not going to make or break your weight loss.
well, my goal is to gain about 15 pounds between tomorrow and Monday.
Did you hear that Justin? He bought 4 pies. He's gonna
4
eat.
pumpkin pies. It is all
luck,
bets
Justin.
off this weekend.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be hilarious.
He's like he's not sharing at all.
Yeah.
So, story since the last podcast. I'll introduce it, Sam, since you did the last one.
Yeah.
So I just gonna talk about mine. I picked up these people and they started talking about their dog. Okay, so it's an XL. The guy's in front. So if you can picture it, guy in front, and then everyone else in the back, bunch of girls, guys, and they start saying, "Your dog eats poop. Your dog eats poop. We're gonna start calling your dog poop." Meanwhile, the guy in the front is getting angry because, like, no, her name's not Poop. She doesn't eat poop, and they're just going on and on about eating poop. And I'm like, what the. Like, where am I? And it got worse. It was like, yeah, well, she ate my dirty underwear. And then when she pooped it out, it was like half hanging out. I'm not kidding. They're talking about this. Yes, we all have dealt with dogs eating disgusting things. But, I mean, the guy in the front is about ready to throw down because he's so pissed that they're calling their dog Poop instead of her name was like, I don't know what think Daisy or something like that. Like, it's not Poop. It's Daisy, like, for the rest of the ride. I'm like, I mean, it was so gross. I'm like, what? Are we drinking adults or are we teenagers? I don't know. I guess I get a little wordy when I get drunk too, but I'm not going to talk about eating my underwear or something like that.
You're not?
No. So nothing really other than that, just disgusting poop talk. But what about you, Jesper?
So the first story I have, I actually don't know if it was, I don't remember if it was last weekend or the weekend last weekend I drove. I know I haven't talked about it before, but that was one night where I took a girl to the hospital, picked her up at, she was pretty drunk. I picked her up at a Thousand Oaks, and we took her to the hospital. So.
Yeah, I vaguely remember the story. Didn't he say they were going to go home, but then he said, you know what?
Yes, first they were in town for a wedding, obviously.
Yeah.
And so first they said, let's go to the hotel. But then he said, no, we better go to the hospital.
And I hope she was okay.
Yeah.
I think she was. I mean, who never knows? But, you know, they took her in. I'm sure they pumped her stomach. And
Yeah, she's not going to enjoy that.
Have you taken anyone to the hospital
No,
like that?
I've been close, but I haven't. I've at least seen them meander their way into the house and be like, okay, you got yourself in the house. I'm calling it good.
That's another question. What do you guys do when do you make sure someone gets in the house before you leave?
For ladies, I usually do, or very, very
That's
drunk
sexist.
dudes. If the dudes can barely walk, yes, I will make sure they actually get in the house.
Okay.
And then for women, I will usually stay and let my lights help them get in better if it's dark.
Okay.
if it's a group, I don't care. I just take off.
Right, yeah. It's same for me. If there's a group of 5 or 6, they can manage each other.
Yeah, one of them can manage the rest of them.
Right. There's usually an alpha.
I think that was the second time I took somebody to the hospital. About 2 years ago, I took one. It was in the middle of the night, probably 1:30, and he comes out holding a towel to his hand, right?
Oh, he cut himself?
Oh yeah, big time, and like halfway through the bone or whatever on one of the fingers, and his wife was with him. Like, yeah, we got to go to the ER pretty fast.
So were they both drunk?
No, he was just cooking.
Then why didn't she just drive him?
Because they didn't have a car.
Oh, well, there's a
downtown.
good reason. I'm just like,
Yeah.
even if I cut myself and the one hand was fine, I would just, well, depending how bad it was bleeding, I might not try
I did.
myself.
Yeah.
I might wrap it with
I
tape.
cut my fingertip off and drove myself to the hospital.
Did you? Is it still off?
No, I mean, it was tip, just the tip.
Oh, yeah.
But it bled pretty profusely.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
At least it wasn't this one.
No, would have been great. I would have loved showing people to it then.
My youngest son thinks that's so funny when I do that. I'm like, Sully, I hurt this finger.
And then the only other thing is I had two rides to Allendale. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, it's
And
been a little bit since I've been to Allendale.
One was a Saturday night. It turned out to be a $50 ride, so it was nice. So $40, and then the next day I woke up to a $10 tip from them. So yeah.
Man, you and Chris in our Grand Rapids group, they roll in the tips.
I'm telling you, it's the blowjobs.
Okay.
What?
Sam, what about you? Now I'm going to put you on the spot. I just wasn't expecting that. That's something we would say in our Telegram group. I wasn't expecting it on the podcast.
It's okay. You can mark it as mature. No. Well, I was going to actually get back to the hospital story. So I think Gabe shared it for everybody, but Nicole's ride, she
doesn't ring a bell.
No, she had a girl try to get in her car, I think, or out of her car, and fell and hit her head on the curb. And she had to call. No, it was serious. They had to call the EMT. She was stuck there for over an hour, waiting to get everything taken care of, so she could leave and keep driving.
At least she stayed there. I'd be like,
I heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was pretty bad.
Man, I think I would be like, you guys got it. All right, I'm gonna end the ride now.
Yeah.
I'm kind of cold-hearted though, so.
No, once the ambulance is there, you don't need to be there anymore. You just don't.
Yeah, I mean, why waste your time? You're not being insensitive. If everyone's safe, safe, the patient might not be safe. But I mean, if everyone's taken care of, like there's authorities there, why? I mean, I'm not judging anyone that does that.
Right.
But yeah, I'd be out of there. I didn't have any interesting rides really. It was a pretty chill week. I didn't drive that much compared to normal.
Yeah. So let's talk about like
I did have that Detroit ride.
You took it? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lucky son of a gun.
That was nice.
Lucky son of a gun.
Mostly, like my most interesting story was
Why
actually
was it lucky?
Oh, you didn't hear about it?
No.
It was my boss from my.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
It was just I couldn't do it because Avery was homesick.
I didn't even drive there. I just rode as a passenger there. He drove us.
Right.
So I just had to drive his car from Detroit to Grand Rapids for $150.
Yeah, I would have loved to take that. But
Yeah.
But how is he going to get the car back then?
He's flying back into Grand Rapids.
It was just a delay for that first leg of the trip. So
yeah, no, it was good though. I mean, but I had a ride as a passenger, and the guy that picked me up, super nice, had over 4,000 rides under his belt. He's been doing it for 4 years, and he told me a couple of like his best stories, and the one that really just had me cracking up. He picked up it's the last time he worked the drunk crowd. Some dudes put this guy in his car and said, here's $20, get him home safe. He lived 5 minutes away. So a 5-minute ride, he made, $23. They get there and this dude couldn't even get out of the car. He was so drunk. So he helped him up the stairs.
The driver did?
Mm-hmm. Dropped him on the couch. Yep. Left him on the couch, hung his keys up by the door. And he's like, there was money and weed everywhere. And I just turned around and left. And
wow.
The next day, somebody from the hub called him and said, hey, can you come down to the hub? Your passenger from last night would like to speak with you.
I'd be like, no, I'm an independent contractor.
I'm assuming they wouldn't have called if they didn't think it was for a good reason.
True.
But so yeah, he's like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll be there as soon as I finish this ride. He headed down there. He found the guy, standing in the lobby. He's like, so I guess you're the guy who took me home last night? He's like, yeah, I brought you home last night. Well, that's good because I didn't remember getting there.
Man.
And he's like, well, I appreciate you making sure I got inside and whatever, and handed him an envelope. He's like, yeah, I just shoved it in my pocket, continued on with my day, didn't look at it, got home for the night, got my pajamas on, and just sitting there on the couch and realized, oh yeah, I have an envelope.
Yeah.
Went and opened up, there was a $100 bill inside of it.
Nice.
So $120 for a 5-minute ride.
Yeah, he's a drug dealer. Of course he has $100.
So I got a real fast mention on YouTube. Todd, he's there, and we were talking about the hospitals. He said just 2 weeks ago he had a pregnant woman in labor in his car.
Wow, really?
So yeah,
I don't want that in my car.
Well, what do you do?
He took it to the hospital, I guess. But
Call an ambulance?
I mean, yeah.
So he does say that he's quite often been taken to the hospital, and he jokes that he's the ambulance of Uber, but I let's be real about that though. I think there's a lot of people who uses that service for that because it's a ton cheaper than a hospital or than an ambulance.
I know.
What?
Sorry, you can't interrupt stories, Sam. You gotta wait because he had a flow going. Yeah, I spelled something terribly wrong. But no, that's so true. But when would you deny a woman in labor though? That's the question.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. Even what if she was like crowning? You know what that means?
At that
Well,
part,
yeah, I
she
know what
probably
it
shouldn't
means.
be in the car.
But
True.
But get her to the hospital. I
Yeah.
can't help with it because I'm obviously driving. But get her to the hospital.
No, I think you should have her husband drive. You help in the back.
No, but if she was alone.
Well, yeah, if she was alone.
Right.
Can you imagine? I'd feel so bad for that lady.
Speaking of that, now
we're on
the
a
stories
tangent.
are coming out.
I
right?
know, well, that's the best.
So I took a nurse last weekend too, and she was drunker than I don't know what, right? And she was probably 23. She was a nurse student, right? And then she proceeds to tell me the things that she wants to be when she's done with the student. Like, she wants to be a labor nurse, right? Because there's nothing better than listen to this. It's not. She doesn't say they're bringing babies into the world, right? No. There's nothing better than to peep in and notice that they are 5.
What are 5? Oh,
Opening.
dilate?
Yeah.
That's what she's excited
I
about?
know. She's like, I like to put the loop on my finger. And
No.
she was saying that.
Oh.
If dilation makes you happy, that's the perfect job for you.
I mean, I'm hoping it just makes her happy in life and
Right.
not the other part. 'Cause
Right.
then we have a serious problem. Oh my gosh, Jesper, that's the funniest.
That was the thing she was talking about. It's like, oh my God.
I can't imagine that conversation.
why didn't you save that for us?
I know. Just to hear the audio would have
Yeah.
been amazing.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Man. Anyways, so are we done with stories?
I hope so.
I think that one takes the cake of all the stories. When I look in there and I see she's a 5, I'm so excited.
I mean, I picked up a nurse from the Children's Hospital the other day who was one of the dumbest women I've ever met. And I'm like, oh no, why are you at the hospital? Please.
Are you sure she was a nurse or an aide? Maybe a tech?
I don't know what she was doing.
She
but
probably had
she shouldn't be working in the hospital, period.
Why was she dumb?
Just the things that she said, the way she's just not a bright girl from our conversation. The way she thinks the world works is very different.
Well, she doesn't get excited about dilation
No,
5, so
she does not.
I think I'm going with your gal instead of Jesper's. Oh, sweet mother. All right, getting back on track. So we want to talk
She
about...
was pretty drunk, though.
Well, yeah. Have you ever thought, though, that most of the time when you get people in your car and you just hear them talk and they're not super wasted, you always think, I bet they're professionals. And then you kind of hear what they do, and they're normally the nurses and the accountants, the nerds, and you just can tell when people are professional. They seem to hold it together more. Not that one wasn't holding it together. But
I don't
feel
think
like
when they're drunk, it doesn't matter how professional they are.
No, and honestly, the ones that are the most tightly wound during the day are the worst of the drunks.
That's true.
I gotta say, I have a ton of respect for the nurses in town. I mean, the things that they do and the things that they see on a daily basis. I mean, it is crazy. I would not want that job.
Oh, sorry. The TV was really loud upstairs. Normally I can't hear it, but then I was like, I'm hearing some audio in my headphones. All right, we got to get moving. We're going to be here till midnight.
Yes.
So here I say we got to get moving. Real quick, tonight is the night. Everyone says it's the biggest bar night of the year. I think it is the biggest bar night of the year, but I don't think it's the biggest money making for rideshare driving. So, yes, you will do a little better than a Friday night, but don't expect to make a killing tonight. I just want to throw that out there, anyone that's going to drive.
People are complaining already that it's real slow out tonight, and there's just too many drivers.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm going home.
Yeah. Yes, Jesper was on the fence. I probably will go out.
It might get better after 11.
I think it will, but it's not going to be like a New Year's Eve or
I'm
a
not
St.
going to last till 2 anyways. We know that.
Well, if you didn't take a nap, so.
No, because...
So if you like all this chatter, check out our Telegram group. I'm just going to briefly talk about it. We talked about it earlier. The link is in the show notes.
Yep. And then once you join the Telegram group, we expect you to go to Apple Podcast and write a review on the podcast.
Nice segue.
Absolutely, because we really need that. So guys, I don't care if you like it or not. I don't care if you hate it. Go to Apple Podcast and say you love it. Give us 5 stars, because that's just what we need.
We do, and I know we. Jesper and I have an Apple Android war all the time, but for whatever reason, Apple rules the world with podcast ratings. So
at this point, they're still the only place we found you can actually review a podcast. So
I don't know why Google hasn't opened that up yet. I mean, they have a platform.
Google's podcasting platform is actually pretty good.
No,
so
it's nice. I like it. I actually don't even use the Apple Podcast to listen. I have a third-party app that I use, but
okay.
So our studio sponsor is Irvine's Auto Repair, and hey, I remember to put the ad up. Hey,
Good job.
So yeah, they just had my car for a week. That was old Mickey Mouse, wasn't it? So I had to get a rack and pinion repair, which was really expensive, but they did a great job with it. They communicated the whole time. They're just amazing. They're located on Stafford off 44th in Grand Rapids, just east of 131. Call them at 202-5538. What I like about Irvine's is obviously they do great work the first time, but all their scheduling stuff is online. Like it's all through text and email, and some people like paper, but they don't want to use paper. They're trying to save paper, and they only work on domestic and Asians. And one cool thing I found out too, they do give a rebate in January for everything you spent. So I think it's 1 or 2%. So it's not much, but
I mean,
for me it is
what you spent.
For me it is. It is. But yeah, so that's one of the cool things too. It's a woman-owned company, and they're just great. Domestic and Asians only. I think I said that, and check out their Google reviews. They're great, and of course the hybrid part of it. We talk about Irvine's Auto Repair, but if you have a hybrid, their other part of the business is Grand Rapids Hybrid. So when the dealers can't fix it, they send it to Grand Rapids Hybrid. So it's all in the same building, but check them out. So. All right, that's not what I meant to do, Jason. Sorry about that. I put a hotkey in. It didn't even work. Oh, yeah, it did work. We're back. I'm an idiot. Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry. So Rideshare in the news. The first article is it's a Grand Rapids local thing, and Sam's going to talk about that.
So the city of Grand Rapids has some ideas about some updates they want to try and make to downtown, and they're looking for people to go into their open houses on the 9th and 10th of December and discuss their ideas for what should be done about Ottawa and Ionia, specifically between Michigan and Fulton. Right now, they're both a one-way street going opposite ways, and they're looking at maybe making them 2 lanes and adding bike lanes to them.
Well, making them non-one way, right?
They're both 2-way streets.
Right.
That's what they want.
Yeah, 2 ways.
Possibly. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I was dumb. Me. Sorry.
Yeah, no, and looking at trying to add a bike lane on Ionia, which
they did that. They did that on Ivanrest. If you guys noticed, when you come here, it used to be.
Yes, I've
it
noticed.
was in construction for 6 years, but they have just the 2 lanes, the center turn lane, the bike lane. I've seen like maybe 2 people use the bike lane, but.
But people downtown uses the bike lane a lot.
They do.
But the one that really was bigger to me is they want ideas on what to do around our event spaces, like Calder Plaza and the Van Andel. And as all of us have experienced in Grand Rapids, the Van Andel situation is not good.
No. You know what I would love if they from Oaks to Fulton on Ottawa there, right next. They should make that all rideshare.
That would be fantastic.
I mean, it kind of is a loading zone anyways, but
during a concert getting out before, I've had cops flash their lights at me for parking on the side with my hazards on in nobody's way because I'm there. And they're like, well, you can't park there. I'm not parked. I'm waiting for a passenger.
Right. Yeah, I think when an event lets out, the cops don't care for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then if they're bored, they might. But
just leave us alone. If you're not impeding traffic, leave us alone.
Well, here's another opportunity in the back where all the tour buses park and everything. There's some parking that they could make a little turnaround.
They could.
Because I know, like,
Because we're not blocking the buses for a while. It's going to be a while before those buses have to get out of there.
right, they
gotta load
definitely
up
could do
and-
something.
Yes.
So, yeah, one of us or both of us are planning on going to this just to maybe get some connections and talk to somebody about, like, the Bob area, the parking issues.
Yes,
And
and just
I know,
There's
better
parking issues at the back?
signage.
well,
Well, that car that got hit this weekend.
yeah.
Did you see that video?
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't
Yeah.
see the video, but I
Oh
heard
yeah,
the
he
story.
posted the video. It was he thought the Jeep was at fault, or the other car was at fault, and it was actually the Jeep that was 100% at fault for it.
Well, the red car was moving.
Right, but they were pulling into parking, and the Jeep started to go,
Yeah.
and then they clipped the red car.
Right.
The Jeep was at fault.
Yeah. Well,
But
I think
really they're all at fault for parking there.
right, and I think about the other venues, bars like the Back 40, and I know the people that aren't local are probably like, "What the hell are you talking about?" But there's nothing you can do there. I mean, where can you do? You can't do anything.
Well, no, now that they got rid of that parking lot and put a hotel in, that would have been the one great option for us.
Which
That
part?
little triangle one that somehow is big enough for a hotel that's being built.
That's right.
Yeah, that could have been a great place for us.
Yeah, it
And-
could have
I
been
don't think it's a hotel.
It's a hotel.
the one. Yeah, right by the police station, right across.
The pizza slice.
Yes,
Yes.
the pizza slice. It's going to be a hotel.
That's
Oh,
a
I thought
hotel.
it was business. Okay.
It's going to be a Radisson.
Yeah.
But yeah, so not much for people that are not from this market, but we're kind
Right.
of excited about that. Maybe get a contact that we can bitch to. So
Yeah. Just to have the city actually work with us, recognize we're here, and do anything
Right.
to make our lives a little easier.
yeah,
What?
Like even just staying on top of the city staff who are responsible for getting the cars out of the no parking at night areas where we could load, like on Ionia, would be huge. Like, don't just put a ticket on there. Like, actually clear the cars out when they park there when they're not supposed to.
yeah. Well, it's too much work.
Well, and I also don't think the city wants to pay for it.
Yeah.
I know. Ultimately, you have to pay for it yourself.
Yeah, if you want
but-
your car back.
Well, yeah, but the city still have to pay for it up front.
Right.
True.
Or bigger tickets
Yeah.
to deter people from doing it in the
Well,
first
and
place.
and this isn't just a local problem with parking. I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
across the
everywhere.
country,
Yeah.
the
You
congestion.
should have seen Chicago last weekend. Oh
Is
my
it
No,
crazy?
thank you.
Did you
Chicago's ridiculous.
Did you do rideshare the whole weekend?
Well, we only did once because we had the hotel we stayed at was like within walking distance of the
venue?
theater. Yeah,
Okay.
it was great. So we walked a lot, but we did take one lift from the Navy Pier to the hotel.
Okay.
It was okay.
It cracks me up that you took a lift.
Was it cheaper, or did you just decide?
I
to
think
do
it was cheaper at the time. Yeah, actually.
I actually try to take a Lyft over Uber too. I don't know why.
Yeah, I usually get 10% off with Lyft. They're always
Oh.
sending me coupons, so it's almost always cheaper.
I actually tell customers that because of course the questions they ask, what do you like better, Uber or Lyft?
Yeah,
So,
always.
honestly, 10 to 1, it doesn't matter.
Well, for me, I get 8% more on my pay with Lyft than Uber.
I don't.
I know. I said for me.
Come to think of it, maybe it was Uber. I don't know. I can't.
It doesn't matter.
But
But
it
then
was fine.
I always say too, hey, Lyft always offers coupons. So as a rider, but actually F Lyft because they're charging the customers a lot of money and not
At
paying
night,
us
yes.
jack shit.
You know, honestly, if Lyft had the demand Uber did, I probably would do more Lyft prior to the surge changing. But now that Lyft is charging surge and not paying anything to the driver out of that.
Well, Gabe made out like a bandit.
Yeah, well, I had 2 really good ones. I had like a plus 15
Yeah.
for a 5-minute ride and something else. But I think it's so sporadic. It's so random. You can't plan around
You
it.
cannot plan around it. You're
At
right.
least on Ubers, I can plan. Like, I know that it is going to surge from 145 to 215
Well, honestly,
Friday and Saturday.
honestly, what I do is just one thing that's nice about Lyft. You don't have to have the app on when that.
Right.
So you'll know.
Right.
That's where I think 2 devices can come in.
Yeah. I mean, I flip it up once in a while and I'm like, oh, hey, big pink box.
Yeah, I know.
I flip Uber off real quick because often the starting surge on Lyft is bigger than the surge on Uber.
Yes.
Not always, but. So I'll flip it on because you know you're not going to sit there. It's not going to build. So whatever it's advertising is what you're going to get.
Yeah, I used to have the tablet. I mean, I still have it, but I turned the service off on it. I don't know. I just didn't think it was beneficial, but in this case, it might be beneficial, at least during
You
surge
can't run your
times.
phone as a hotspot?
I could, but I don't know. I don't want to do that. I don't know. I mean, I could have kept
the
the
old man
service.
set in your ways.
No, otherwise I would have kept the tablet on. I just turned the service
But you
off.
pay for it, don't you?
No,
Oh.
the tablet was free.
No, I mean, I paid an extra $10 a month for the
Yeah,
extra
you-
line
Yeah.
that my tablet was.
paid
Yeah,
line.
but
I
just,
don't have to do that if I just turn my phone on as a
right.
hotspot.
I guess
and then-
my point was I wasn't using it enough. I'm like, I might as well save the
Right.
money, or it's $10 or $20, whatever. All right.
Right.
So let's jump into this one. Uber is not a transportation company. You want to hit that, Sam?
Sure.
You were on the wrong screen, weren't you?
I was trying to catch up with Facebook.
Don't do that.
Well, it's your name on this.
Yes. So
Well, we're all going to talk about it. But
yeah, but I mean, effectively, everybody I'm sure has seen the new agreement that Uber has put out. And one of the clauses is about arbitration. And a big complaint a lot of Uber drivers have had in the past is you can't really sue. You're required to go to arbitration if you have an issue. So you don't get to see a judge. You don't get to see a jury. It's all behind closed doors. It's real hush hush. And it's generally with a non-disclosure agreement. So you can't even talk about it. So, now there is the option if you send the email saying that you'd like to opt out of the arbitration requirement that you can do so. You get 30 days after you agree to this updated agreement to do it. And they claim there will be no retaliation. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Well, here's the
So-
thing, though. I've gotten money from a class action without doing anything.
Right.
Like
So-
Ben got the check, I got the check.
There's loopholes to
I
what
didn't get no
arbitration can cover. It just depends. Like things with like sexual assault cases sometimes are not part of that rule. So even if you agree to arbitration, if it's a sexually related lawsuit,
Yeah.
you can still go to a judge.
Yeah,
There are loopholes.
right.
But,
I just think maybe they're just talking about like, oh, I didn't get my pay correctly.
They don't want you wasting their time with thousands and thousands of cases every time someone's upset.
Right.
Which I get, but there also should be a method of doing things kind of on the up and up, like
Yeah.
not all behind.
A couple of other
closed
things
doors.
that were in this, and I didn't get time to actually. I asked these guys, and they're like, "Oh, I thought maybe they would know," but there is something in the terms of service that says you have to do one ride a month to stay active.
Yeah, I saw that floating around Facebook. I don't know if it's
I know,
true.
we can't
It's 27 pages. I didn't get a chance
Yeah.
to get through it all.
Yeah, I mean, we love Rideshare in the community, but I'm not going to read the 27 pages. I'll be honest.
Probably will out of curiosity.
Just yeah. Maybe I'll print it out and put it in my bathroom, and when I'm going to take a dump, I'll just read a page each time.
And use that.
I got
page
I got a printer now. I'll just print it out.
and then use that page.
No, that's a little rough on the rear end, but so. Yeah, everyone was freaking out about this. I just signed it and went on with my day.
Me too. And I don't think I'm gonna send the email.
I don't think I will either. And one of the other things that the hot topic was, they were saying, oh, they're saying they're a transportation company, or not a transportation company, technology. Well, they've been saying that from day
Yes.
one, but it's finally, I'm surprised they
Right.
waited this long to put it in.
Right, into the actual agreement. I mean, I think they kind of had to now that they filed that way with the SEC, like formally. But
Yeah,
it's not new. There's a lot of people who are still fighting it.
right.
Whatever.
I don't know.
It's exhausting.
Here's what I when I read stuff on Facebook, and I'm like, all the energy that you're putting into bitching about this, you could be working.
Yes, and making money.
Like, if you don't like it, I'm all for it. If you don't like it, just don't drive. It's
Right.
cool. I'm not gonna be mad at you. Like, if you drive, I'll not be mad, and vice versa. Like, just do
Uber
your
won't
thing.
care either.
Right. No, I don't mind a good discussion about it, but when I see, I guess because I'm in so many groups, I
Right,
see
it's
post after
incessant,
post after
yes.
post after post. I'm like, then just quit.
Like the one of the ladies' rooms I'm in, like every day there's a new post about it. And I'm like, did you read anything that was posted the last week? Because there's already 15 threads on this topic. Read one of those.
Don't you hate that you're not in the women's group? Like, there's no just men's Uber group. It's a community.
Because that would be sexist if it's a men. The women can have a group.
Yep.
And that's not sexist.
Well, they should
but
have a group.
Men.
I'm just making a joke.
I know, me too.
All right, let's jump ahead unless there's any.
Maybe I don't even want to be a member of it.
Honestly, you probably don't. It's real catty sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cat at each other like the other groups. Oh man, jeez.
Yeah, no, I don't.
It's
So,
not
I
sunshine and rainbows.
can't handle the drama.
I mean, to be fair, some of the men in our Ubers group are like the cattiest, most childish people I have ever met.
You know,
They take the trophy.
yeah, I know. I wonder if you met them in real life, if they would be like that.
Probably
I feel
not.
like they
People
wouldn't
are
be.
braver behind a computer screen.
I know. Disrespectful. All right, this next one. This always is awesome when you find stuff. Basically it's a Jenga for the people that are just listening. A Jenga piece, and on the back of it in Sharpie it says "Dare send butthole pic to top snap friend." So clearly they were doing some sort of scavenger hunt.
Didn't I send this to you right after you were talking about the poop conversation?
I think I was.
Yeah,
I think you did.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of funny what you find or what you see when you're driving. Like I said, last big weekend, I think Jesper had a half a bottle of Bacardi. Half a bottle of Bacardi.
Yeah.
It
fell out
just
of
feel
my
like that'd be a
holder,
really
so I
hard
did-
picture to take.
What's that? Oh. Well, you almost have to have a buddy do it,
Yes,
like
I
drop
think
your
so.
pants.
I think you need a
I
friend
mean,
to help
if
with
you can
this
do that
one.
by yourself with mirrors, that's pretty amazing. I mean, I don't think I could do it, but I'm not that flexible. How's the rooms going? Any questions or anything? I'm just
No, I think things.
remember my new
chugging
rule.
along.
New rule: I don't look at the comments, so because otherwise I get behind.
Yeah, I'm catching up.
All right, cool. So next one, there's no audio. Sam said there was audio originally, but
Yeah.
most of us think this is kind of a scam, or not a scam, but a fake one.
Yeah, it
But,
could be. I don't know. It still made me laugh.
So it's a steering wheel, and she's like, "Oh, my steering wheel fell off." I kind of wish there was audio.
Or maybe in my mind there was audio because there's subtitles.
Oh, could be. Well, one of the things I think is, I need to play it again. Hold on.
See, mine was much longer. Did he
I don't know.
trim it? Maybe.
It's like 20 seconds. I don't know if it's an actual Uber ride, but it's some sort of, like, why would they be in the backseat filming?
Right. In the GPS. No, actually, no. There is a little purple notch on top of that GPS. That is a Lyft
You think?
GPS on there.
Well, why is
Yes.
it green on the top?
Mine does that.
What?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Uh huh.
It's green?
My navigation. Yeah.
Oh, there is a little toggle up there.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's a little purple toggle up there.
Well, either way, get your shit fixed. I mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah. I mean, especially
Well,
a
I mean,
steering wheel. It's
Look,
like
look at her armrest. It's obviously a brand new car. So
It's not.
Yeah.
Well, which would you rather ride in? Do you remember last podcast, that guy that was in that van? Would you rather be the no? I think I'd rather be in the no steering wheel one than
Yeah.
than that car. That thing was nasty.
Yes.
That van, man.
yeah.
Wow.
So one of the things that Jesper and I have talked about, I'm going to throw up a photo, is we're unable to adjust your fare. So over the weekend, I had someone jump in my car that was ordered an X, and they had 5 people. And with Uber, normally you just email them, or not email, whatever. You go through their prompts. By the way, it takes like 46 prompts to get to anything now.
know.
Have you noticed? Like,
Because they don't want you to do it. They want you
know.
to get tired and give up.
and yeah, because you're like, this is annoying. What I typically try to do for those kind of things is I'll take a screenshot and then I'll go back later in the night to adjust it. But I had some downtime, so I sent them an email and said, hey, can you change this to an XL? And immediately, as soon as I clicked that, this is what they came back and said: we have reviewed the upcharge fare for this trip and will be unable to make adjustments because the new fare would be less than the original fare. Please let us know if there's anything else we can do.
You could just put the new price on there and then attach the appropriate surge.
Yeah.
That's what they
Well,
could do.
that's so. What they're basically saying, I think, is we're not going to add the surge to the XL because the surge was for an X, and there's no way I can prove otherwise. But Jesper said he's done it a couple of times where they've given him that extra surge. So
Not lately though.
no, true,
But
true.
been a
you know,
while.
I on a non-surge did that X to XL, and they only gave me like an extra $1.50.
Well, that would make sense.
No, it would not have covered the minimum fare for an XL.
No.
No,
So it probably means because it was a surge, they're not going to.
right.
They're not going to do it. But
They don't want somebody's bill to go from $15 to $35.
right. And just for new drivers, if you're listening, Lyft, you cannot do that. So if you are an XL driver and you get more people in there, you actually have to have them cancel and reorder. And honestly, I've done it a few times, not cancel. I just let them go because it's a short ride. It's like, whatever, I'm not going to mess with it. But if Uber would, they make it a little bit easier, why not do it if you can get a couple more bucks?
Right.
You're paying the gas.
One thing I'm kind of getting a little bit annoying in my market ever since our market, Grand Rapids, ever since they introduced Comfort. I feel like a larger group is using Comfort as a cheap XL. I get a lot of Comfort where it's like 5 people. Yeah. And truth be told, I don't take the time to upgrade them because, whatever, it's, whatever. And I should.
You should. Clearly, if it's on a surge, they won't do it. But if it's a non-surge, you should.
There should be a separate Comfort XL option.
Well, an XL is kind of a big one.
Not all XLs are Comforts.
No, but my point is, you typically, if you're going to get an XL, it's big enough
that it should be comfortable.
It could be comfortable, right? Unless you have a.
But I think that's the thing, and that's what people are. They're risking it. I'll pay for the comfort, and we'll put 5 in it.
Because they have better odds that they're going to get a van or
a bigger car.
And it's weird, like and this is nothing against you, that a 2015 minivan is comfort, right?
It's very comfortable. What are you talking about?
It's spacious.
Well, so is my car. Yeah. It's older.
Your car should.
Yeah, it's older.
But I think it's because of the age. You have to be a 15 or newer.
Yeah,
but
so
I guess, have you ever thought about just putting your foot down and saying, yes, you ordered a Comfort for 4 people, and I will take 4 of you?
Oh, I could.
Well, at that point, you're kind of giving up money. He just needs to go back and change it to an XL.
Right. But that's been harder, too. It's hard for me to figure out the right option to choose.
What do you mean?
It's
in the help.
They've hidden it in the menu.
You do. You have to. You can't. That's why I say you need to go back later in the night when you're done driving, because trying to do it like real quick, it's not going to happen.
Right.
No.
Okay, are we going to take the saviors?
I did forget to mention, I found a wallet in my car.
You did?
That I had to have already had for at least a week.
That's right.
And nobody reported it. I still have it.
Well,
any money in it?
You didn't report it to Uber?
I did.
And they haven't claimed it?
No, I didn't know which ride it was, and I left that message for Uber. I was like, I don't know whose this is, but this is their legal name.
Yeah, if you gave them their name, they should be easy to be able to.
But they should be able to find it if she ordered it. But
well, the chances are that it was a woman.
Yeah.
Chances are she probably has an Uber account anyways.
Right, and that's the thing. They never got back with me, and she lives really far on the north side of town, like almost Rockford. So I haven't felt like just driving it up there. At this point, I've had it for like 2 weeks. She's probably replaced everything.
I would drive it up there.
I haven't.
Or
I've been busy.
Look at her. Look at it. I've been busy.
I'm in school. I'm busy.
Yeah, but she might pay you.
Maybe.
But if it's
I'm going to drive
$15.
half an hour north for nothing.
Well, if you get a ride up there in the next couple weeks, just drop it off at the police department, and they can do it. But all right, let's. What do we got next? Oh, so this was floating around about how this driver, how this driver thinks about rating what you are when you have these ratings. So I'm going to read through them a little bit, but just to get the conversation started, I don't think you ever not take a ride because of rating, right? No. You take everything. Yep. What about you?
Once in a great while. If it's super busy and then I get a ping from the Bob and it's a 4.6, it's not happening. Yeah. Oh, I just
spilled on myself. No.
Yeah.
So like me,
yeah.
If it's a low rating at the Bob, I'm like, oh, you've been a problem.
Right. So that's always with the bar crowd. I'm like, I'm not going to risk it today.
So I'll run down these real quick. 5.0, you're good, but you also might mean that you're just a new user and haven't received a lot of ratings yet. Or you have a lot of experience to maintain a perfect rating and you're great. Nah, that's not true. 4.94 to 4.99, you're a great passenger with lots of rides, and I want you in my car. 4.80 to 4.93, you're a pretty good passenger, but a couple of people gave you a few 4 stars, maybe a 3-star. No sweat, you're still probably a great passenger. 4.7 to 4.79, here we enter the territory of ratings. You're probably still a good passenger, and I've given rides to many 4.7ers who were great people, but you've done something in the past to tick off a few drivers. What did you do? Drivers are to proceed with caution, but they're probably okay. That's probably my limit right there.
Yeah.
4.7?
When it's
Yeah.
real busy and I suspect a possible puker, yes, 4.7 is also my limit.
So, and I've probably talked about this on the podcast, but my personal Uber rating as a rider is 4.73.
Wow. Who'd you piss off?
I didn't piss anyone off.
Clearly you did.
Clearly I did. My
I'm not
drive.
surprised.
Screw you.
You're a little rough on the edges sometimes, just like I am.
Yeah, I know. But I was like, my gosh, my driver rating's like 4.95 for Uber and 5 for
Because
Lyft.
you're nicer as a driver than you are as a passenger.
Clearly. So then he goes into 4.6 to 4.69. Okay, you have somehow earned quite a few negative ratings from a few drivers, and I don't know why. If it's very slow, I might accept. But honestly, probably not. Are you rude? Are you dirty? Are you mean? What did you do to earn such a low rating? And the last 4.5, 4.59, you have an absolutely horrible rating and have really done something to tick off many drivers. You have probably thrown up in someone's car. I will 100% not accept your rating late at night to reduce throw-up risk, and you probably will end up waiting for a very long time for a ride. I've accepted only 2 of these ratings, mainly out of curiosity, and both time I ended up highly regretting that decision.
Yeah. I mean, I've picked up a 4. I think the lowest was like a 4.59. During the day, it was slow, and it was fine. She was Hispanic, didn't speak great English, and I think that was the problem.
I'm sure of it.
She was very nice. She handed me a $3 tip in cash.
Yeah.
Golden.
I think the caveat is for the airport is if you get a low rating, typically it's just, it's fine.
Yeah, it could just be where they're from and just being foreign and traveling, and sometimes you seem like a doofus because you don't know where you are, where you're going, and then people get mad at you.
I haven't heard that in a while. Doofus. So how do you handle people that when you get an XL and you got an asshole in the back, but they're not who ordered the ride? How do you rate that passenger? So you got an XL, douche canoe in the back. The guy that ordered the XL is sitting up front.
It depends on how bad he is and if his friends even attempt to calm them down.
Okay.
If they're just like, whatever, we're going to let them destroy your car and not care, then guess what?
Well,
I
I mean,
care
destroying,
either.
let's say just being
rude
disrespectful.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. I can't think of an example, but just being.
Usually there's a girl around to say, be quiet.
Right.
I absolutely love it when the friends get on the friends. They're like, hey, let's be respectful. I'm
Right.
like, thank you.
Yes.
Someone raised you right.
Yes. I do get a few of those.
I honestly rate them poor. I'm like, get better friends. Like, unless they, like you said, they've attempted to calm them and the guy won't listen, then or gal, okay.
Right.
But if you don't even try, get better friends.
Yeah.
See, I'm a bad rater. I rate pretty much everybody 5.
Really?
Yeah. You really have to do something bad to me.
I just kick them out.
I gave out one
But
star
still
this
rating 5.
weekend.
Sorry,
I
Sam,
gave
go
out
ahead.
one star this weekend.
I usually at least give out 1 or 2.
Right. Yeah, they were very rude. So
I think lately, though, I've been getting more 4 stars for some reason. And I think people really need to look at the whole rating system. It's like,
Well,
hey,
it's not like an Amazon.
You got there safe, lady.
right.
Hey, I got chastised for saying I get from Todd from YouTube that said that I get passengers from A to B. I'm not there to be your personal entertainment center.
Right. And you're not wrong. There's a better way to say it, but you're not wrong.
From the Edge girl over there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind the radio, and they can do whatever they want, and pick the music and that kind of stuff. That's fine. I'm good with that. But if
when they get in the car disrespectful right away and they're trying to do all that stuff, I mean,
right.
If we're having a great conversation going along and he reaches over and like turns the music up a little bit, I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah. And if they turn it up too loud, I have controls on my steering wheel and I just turn it back down.
Well,
Me too.
I do that too. I don't turn it way back down. I'll like
a little bit to make it reasonable.
Well, what I do is like every 10 seconds I go 1 notch down, and by the time they don't even realize it. So, but yeah, I unfortunately do rate people low when they're disrespectful, and I kick them out. If you remember the last podcast, so
You're a little bit aggressive.
shut up.
You were.
No, wait.
You were
Screw you
frustrated.
both. I was okay. I was frustrated, but we watched it live.
Did I
No,
push a
they
button?
They were 100% in the wrong.
Thank you.
You just could have handled it better.
Okay, how could I have handled it?
I feel like I could feel the tension in here.
yeah.
Well, it's because you could see my face.
Cut it with a knife.
But like in your car, it must have been so uncomfortable immediately.
No, because if you listen to the beginning, and because the guy's kind of talking in the back, if you listen to the beginning, she's like, "Oh my gosh, I spilled vodka all over my crotch." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that sucks." Like we kind of started, and then immediately she got bitchy.
Yeah.
So touchy. All right, we're gonna jump ahead.
According to Justin, you are not aggressive.
Thank you. All right, we're going to jump ahead because we've been talking forever. Sam, one of the things that your mom experienced. All right, I'm not even going to start it because I want to hear the response, whatever it is.
Peter, you're right. Peter, nobody brought up the Gatorade bottle.
We're not going to talk about that. If you want to talk about it on the chat, you can. It will not be spoken of on this audio podcast. I think I've talked about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I'm never going to live that down.
So yes, the next talking point, when Ubers get called for jumps.
Or randoms.
Right.
And we'll talk about a random and 2 stories down, too.
So last week, my mother was out doing her 1 day a week of rideshare driving that she actually really looks forward to. And she gets there.
He looks forward to it, too.
She gets to do it 1 day a week, so she likes it.
Yeah.
And she gets there. He's like, "Oh, yeah, I just need a jump. Can you give me a jump?" And she's like, "No, that's not. But you're not going to pay me $2.52 to give you a jump."
But maybe we should all start a side business and keep jump boxes in our car and be like, "No, I definitely can jump you. But that's going to be $25. Here's my Venmo, or here's my."
But they even do have services for that.
Right. But they don't want to. Well,
they cost more.
Yeah, they're not.
You can do the roadside rescue, but it's like $50, I think, to get them to show up.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. They're like, you're just looking for the cheap way out. I'm not going to potentially risk damaging my battery for you. So if your battery's already kind of iffy, then it could definitely be a problem.
So is there, like, Justin could probably chime in on this because I don't know tech stuff, but I've always heard you do have to be cautious when you're jumping someone else's car because it can, like, surge it back to yours or fry your electrical.
There are problems that could happen.
But that's why what you could do if you wanted to. You can actually buy a little battery. You can just put that on and jump it that way.
Yeah.
They just have those little jump boxes.
Well, they even have them now that it looks like a power bank.
Yeah.
It's only like this big with some ends on it. But if it's really dead, that's not going to help. Well, jump box won't even help. Then you almost need a car. But
again, that's I mean, most people with their car insurance, you get free roadside assistance more often than not.
Mine's not free.
I pay like $10 for 6 months.
Yeah, it's
worth
dirt
it.
cheap. Yeah.
Like, just that's not what Ubers are for.
So
and the fact that he thought my mother was going to get out of her car, open the hood, hook up the jump cables for him. Like, no.
Well, that's the thing, too, because if she wasn't comfortable doing that, would she be comfortable having him hook up the jump?
But then that's our car, and we don't want him tinkering with our car.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it either. Have you guys, I see posts like once a week. Have you guys ever transported stuff before? Like a box?
No.
I've never, but I drive the bar scene.
True. But would you?
I would, yeah,
sure.
yeah,
I would.
I do Amazon. That'd be a
but you don't know.
Passenger.
But you don't know what's in the box.
I don't care.
You don't
know
care?
what's in the box of Amazon?
Well, we know it's not drugs.
How do you know that?
Not unless the drugs got in there in the warehouse.
That's true.
It's possible.
I did have an open package today that I had to tape up.
Yep.
I did peek inside. It was an Amazon Echo. No, I didn't peek inside. But yeah.
I always I know when I deliver Instapots because they don't rebox them.
Yeah. You know, it's funny you bring that up. Either last year or the year before, I bought Megan an Instapot, and there was an option on Amazon when you were checking out that said, "Do you want this to put in a Amazon box?" I said yes. They didn't do it. So Megan,
didn't do it.
It came
really?
up. Yep.
I did not check that box because I also just bought one last week.
Oh,
and it just came in this box.
Did you guys see that now they have a Star Wars series?
Yes.
on Disney Plus.
No, of Instapots.
Instapot.
It's a little. It looks like CP3O.
I want a C3PO Instapot.
Yeah.
Okay, I just assume you were talking Disney Plus. I can't believe they have a series.
We were talking Instapot.
I know, but my point is I can't believe they have that. That's lame. Oh,
people like Star Wars.
They do.
Girls who cook in Instapot like Star Wars.
They like their UGG boots and
Star Wars.
All right, next up is a meme that I don't get.
I don't wear Uggs, so
you don't
screw
get
you.
it?
Oh, I don't get it either.
Have you seen The Mandalorian?
No, I don't like Star Wars. It's just not my cup of tea. Like, it's okay.
Baby
I won't
Yoda all the
watch it.
way.
Shh, God, Jesper. Look how loud that spike was right there.
So what?
You don't have to do the editing.
Hashtag Baby Yoda. Okay.
So this meme that goes around, I was talking to Sam earlier. It says, I feel like it's bachelor chicks and some white cat. And it says, stop declining offers. And the cat says, stop trying to make me homeless. No, I understand.
Great.
I understand the wording of it, but I had asked Sam, like, what is this? And apparently it's just somebody put this together and it took off.
Yeah, I don't believe they're from like the same show or anything. Not to my knowledge.
I
I don't know where the cat's from.
Here's the thing. They did this and they're probably not getting paid at anything for it because it's just a fun thing and it just caught on.
Well, it's the internet. It's memes. I mean, you don't
Yeah.
get paid for them. You just have fun.
Yeah. But some of them you read and you're like, I don't even understand what this is. But I do understand.
Yeah, this one's relatable.
Relatable? That's not what I thought you said edible or something.
No, that's our conversation from earlier.
Yeah. Wow. So next up, Xavier. Now I want you to no, I'm not going to I want you to read it and I'm not going to I will read it too, but you think it's legit, but then
Yeah. So Xavier sent his Uber driver this message. I don't really need a ride, but I'll give you money if you can help me with something. LOL. With what? Ugh, I feel bad even asking because it's so random, but it's my medical condition. I would just ask a family member, but no one is home.
you're already starting to laugh.
No, I can just cancel if you want. What do you need? So what are you willing to do? Because I'll give you like $50. So what are you willing to do?
Right. So obviously, initially, I thought, "Oh, this is legit. Like he needs some help." But then at the
Pete
end,
has that guy that needed help, like moving a mattress, legitimately, and paid Pete a lot of money to do it.
really, I didn't
Yeah.
know this.
Yeah.
Is that
It's
recent?
his regular that goes to the casino.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I do remember that.
The guy had a broken hand, so
Yeah.
he asked Pete if he would help him, and he did, and he got paid, and it was legit.
Yeah.
This doesn't sound legit.
Well, it's legit, but it's not a medical condition that you need
No.
your. Well, what you
No.
said earlier.
Yeah.
What did you say earlier?
No.
It's okay. He doesn't want to have to edit it out again.
Again, the studio is sponsored by Irvine's Auto Repair. Please check them out, irvines.com. We appreciate it. So this Lyft driver texts a woman, and it's kind of, I don't know. I feel like we don't know the whole story here, but
Do we ever on videos though?
I'm sorry?
Do we ever on videos though?
No, but do you ever
I get
have
it.
those stories where you're like, I really want to know what actually happened,
Absolutely.
but you never hear it.
Right,
So
right.
here's that video.
She was strewn from the car and beaten on by the driver.
Witnesses called it a melee on Melrose Avenue. An actress and model tossed out of a rideshare in the middle of that busy street. She says she was assaulted by the driver who was supposed to take her home. NBC4's Robert Kovacic live right now in Hollywood. He's been talking to witnesses who rushed in to help. It is a story you will see here for the first time. Robert?
And Colleen, you're about to see what this camera captured for the first time. It happened right here in the middle of Melrose, in the middle of the day. Car stopped. People stopped. They say he saw him throw a phone, scripts, and a young woman out of a car, and they were determined not to let him just drive away. We met her tonight on the way to the hospital.
What did I do? I should have turned
Yeah.
off my music.
Cover that
Does that mean
hoo-ha.
I
That was
deserve
close.
to literally get beaten the shit out of.
Alessandra Starr Ward claims her rideshare driver assaulted
There's
her.
the phone.
Those who saw what was happening
It was grotesque. I mean, it turned my stomach.
tried to help.
Somebody's life in danger, they gotta jump in and do the right thing.
Her godmother ordered the 25-year-old a ride just after noon.
How are these people vetted?
He just hated me as soon as I got in the car.
But when the actress played music in the back
I mean,
seat,
listening
He
to her
made
talk,
a
I did
comment
too.
like, turn
But
it off, or I'm gonna throw you out of my car. I asked him. I was like, "What do you mean you're gonna remove me? What are you gonna do? Put your hands on me?" And then when he said, "Yeah," I was just like, "Okay, I'm calling 911."
the car stopped. The surveillance video obtained by NBC4.
I saw the driver get out of the driver's seat and reach in and just violently yank this young lady from the car, kind of flinging her
into the street.
I just started screaming, help, 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 please, somebody help me, like screaming bloody murder, like hoping that someone would stop, and everyone stopped, all the cars stopped.
No, I jumped out of the car and I jumped in and just to stop the guy, and that's it.
Others flag down an LA school police officer who intervenes, separating the driver from his passenger and those trying to protect her.
I will never ever use one of those apps ever again in my life.
NBC4 tonight spoke with LAPD Wilshire Division, and they confirm that school police did detain the driver but have since released him. But the LAPD says now their investigation begins, and that includes, Chuck, closely studying that surveillance video that we just showed you. By the way, I just spoke with Alessandra's godmother, Melanie Bombacino, who says Alessandra will be staying in the hospital overnight. Live tonight here.
So you were like making snarky remarks.
First things first. Did anybody notice that anchorman or journalist guy had jeans on with that coat and it looked ridiculous?
No, I was listening to the story.
It drew my attention immediately.
Well, they probably called him at 3 in the morning.
That's why they usually don't like show you the bottom half of what people are wearing. Okay, but I could not stand that woman.
Why?
Her accent. She was so dramatic. Bloody murder. Give me a break, lady.
Wow. I mean,
I don't like her either. I wouldn't have thrown her out of the car, but I don't like her. I feel like she probably got in the car with a snotty attitude.
Okay, first of all, she can't help her accent. I mean,
that was not all real. There's no way.
What about
people don't sound like that in real life?
Yes, they do.
No. She's an actress and a model.
What?
I have an accent.
Not like that. Your
your
accent's just fumbly. He said it. He was so close.
I honestly know. Whether she was annoying or not. I mean,
you don't do that to ladies.
No,
you call anybody.
I just spit on my computer screen.
No, the driver was totally in the wrong.
Right,
I don't like her either.
But can you imagine? Like, you call me mean? Like, he was really mean. Like, I just
he
asked
had
him,
a bad day.
Well, yeah, he's gonna get charged and lose.
He's gonna be having a couple real bad days.
Real bad days.
I think he might be off both Lyft and Uber.
I can't believe you went. You're just like, she's annoying. It's like,
I don't like her.
Well, I mean, I'm not a huge fan either, but I still feel bad that she got beat up.
Plus the near crotch shot we got.
Well, I did notice that. I'm like, sweet, you need to cover that up.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, staying in the hospital overnight, like you got smacked in the face. Like, go home.
Go
home.
Yeah, I got bit by a dog tonight. I just drove home and just looked at it.
Tomorrow your leg fall off
is gonna fall off.
Yeah, it's gonna get rabies. All right. Next up is article or video about scooters.
We're gonna feel really bad when it happens.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't have Lyft scooters or any scooters here. Right. I know there are some in Lansing or did they get rid of those? East Lansing, Michigan State University.
I don't know.
I saw them in Detroit.
Chicago.
Oh, did you really?
Saw them in Chicago, yep.
Okay.
Lots of them.
All right. Well, we'll play this video and kind of discuss it.
Lyft is pulling its e-scooters out of the city of Atlanta. The company announced in less than a week it'll end its partnership with the city. The official breakup, November 22nd. This past summer, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms imposed a nighttime ban on e-scooters and other dockless mobility devices after a series of accidents and deaths. Lyft's e-scooters first arrived in Atlanta in December of 2018.
So, just a quick story about it. Go ahead, Jesper.
Oh, I was going to say I was wrong because it's not scooters. It was bikes. Chicago.
Yeah, well, those are fine.
I mean, I don't know who didn't see that coming.
A drunk people on scooters.
Right.
Like, I mean, I'm
scooters out and about while drunk people are on the road. Even like,
did you know you can get a DUI on a scooter?
Well, yeah.
Any moving vehicle, you can get a DUI on a bike driving through Michigan State campus.
Right, because if you could be a hazard of like weaving in and out, but I don't need alcohol to weave in and out with a bike, so not the greatest on a bike. But I hope they don't ever come here. The only reason I would want them here is so I could get paid to charge them. That would be the only reason I would do it. But
Pete said he rode them in Tulsa.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I might ride one. I think it would be kind of fun. But man, if you got a raised piece of concrete and you don't see that thing, you're going.
Yeah.
And of course, there's no helmets or anything. So
Larry said they pulled out on Nashville as well.
The Lyft. Or just the e-scooters
yep.
in general.
Yep.
All right, what else we got, Lear? Yes, we want to talk about Juno. This is
I don't know, but sure. So this article is, what were you gonna say?
I'm gonna say Megan's cooking something up there because I can smell it. What I was gonna say is
Dinner for tomorrow.
That's true. What I was gonna say is I'm bummed that Juno's gone. I thought they were gonna make it. I thought they were gonna be the one, other
Better
Uber and
company.
Lyft. Yeah, I mean, I signed up for it. I still get emails. I got the email that said they were closing. So
Yeah, I mean, but obviously they were only active in New York City.
yeah,
And they just decided to pull out, particularly after what the latest thing that New York City did with the whole thing about how many drivers can be active at the same time.
That's
And
probably
the minimum wage.
Yeah, that's probably what hurt them. Although
Yeah.
they paid more than Uber and Lyft did
Yeah,
to their
they
drivers.
So basically,
pay a
they
lot.
said in the press release they did say that it's shutting down, effective today, and they said basically it's a result of the increased focus on the company, the owners' increased focus on the corporate transportation sector. I can't talk. And
Nothing new.
And thank you so much, Jason. That's awesome. The misguided regulations, what they call them, the latest things that New York City kind of pulled together, and as we just talked about, how many riders can be active at the same time, and minimum wage and that kind of stuff.
So I assume that the rules did apply to Juno too, not just Uber.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and Lyft.
It was
has
all
to.
rideshare
Yeah, all rideshare
companies.
vehicles, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Well, they sold it to, or they encourage it's. Get is the company.
Well, that was early on. Get bought bought
Juno right away.
a long time ago.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they say, it actually says here in 17, the
Oh.
company was acquired in 2017 for $200 million by Israeli rival Get. Yeah.
Oh, and they started it in 2016. That's a pretty good turnaround.
Oh yeah.
$200 million for
yeah.
a year.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'd
Yeah,
do that.
it's a good valuation.
I do that. So,
Well,
but,
I would too. The owners of Juno are like, yeah, this isn't going to work. We'll take the 200 mil.
Right.
but I think it brings up one thing that you have to think about, because it is becoming, and we've talked about this before, in the major cities, rideshare is becoming a problem.
It is.
I mean, it's no longer just solving an issue. It's an actual real problem.
Yeah.
Well,
And
and
how do you solve that problem?
the only way you do is limit the amount of drivers.
Right.
That's the only way.
Right. But if we're doing that, now we are, effectively, we're tying into the whole search model, right?
Oh, yeah.
So now we are raising the prices again.
Yeah.
I mean, so it goes against the model, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love it that people can just turn it on and make extra money. I love that, but
Right.
then there's too many drivers, and not just from a selfish standpoint, but from
yeah.
like how many cars are on the road.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I would love to have less drivers online in Grand Rapids. So.
Right. Although
Yes.
even you say that though, but you're so busy all the time.
Oh yeah,
like,
I'm doing fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know he's doing something else because
yeah.
he makes a lot of money
Something's
every
happening.
week. Something. Knee pads.
No, I knew you were gonna see that.
That was a joke from earlier today. From the Telegram group. You should join. Click here. All right.
Click where you're like.
Click here. Click there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Click this. All right, go Sam.
My God.
All right, so there is actually, speaking of new rideshare companies and Juno's failure, is a new women-focused rideshare company. It's starting in Atlanta. It's called Safer, and their biggest thing is that they're going to give people the option when they set up their profile to select a gender for their driver. So if women only want to be picked up by other women, that is an option.
Didn't Juno have that?
I don't know.
I think they did.
I thought one of the other rideshare companies I heard of had that option. You could actually pick who you wanted to.
So
pick
wait a
up.
minute. Say that again. So males can drive in it?
They can, yes. They have to be. They do a different vetting process.
Okay, a little bit more.
Yeah. So like every driver has to have an in-person interview,
Oh.
and they have to do like a driving session with a
Okay.
representative from the company.
It's smelling really good here.
I know.
I know, there's food in the oven. And then drivers and passengers are all associated like a color. They're both sent a color on their phone, and they have to confirm that with each other before
Okay.
starting the ride as an extra security measure. Rides are all tracked to make sure that you don't deviate from the appropriate route. So I'm assuming they're a little more particular about how you get from A to B.
You're right.
And then, if anybody is uncomfortable, there's an SOS button that's there, which Uber and Lyft already have. But yeah, the big part is that it's going to give women the option to request only female drivers.
And I think that's great. Yeah. I honestly do. Side note, their logo is stupid.
Yes,
that's the worst logo ever.
But the one thing they do mention in this article that kind of annoys me, so that it starts off with more than 100 assaults by women by rideshare drivers were reported to police. And then the example they give is the woman who was murdered by the Uber driver who wasn't an Uber driver.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
That's not a good example. Like, give me an example of an actual rideshare driver, not somebody posing as one.
Yeah, and go ahead. Yes, sir.
No, I was just gonna say the fact that he didn't have the safety mechanisms, and they weren't there was part of the reason as to why the lady got into the car.
Right.
And that's what they're trying to address. So from that perspective, it's okay, I think, to use that.
But yeah, there's still plenty of examples they could have used that were not that one.
Yeah.
But yes, having the little extra color light feature thing, it's just one more relatively easy, even for drunk people to handle system in place.
Yeah, you start doing pins and everything. It's like I appreciate the extra safety, but no, I think that's good. I think the only thing they do is improve their logo because that sucks ass.
Yes.
So
I think we talked about extra safety before, and I guess I'd like to encourage the listeners to, if you guys have any ideas that how do we incur more safety between?
I don't think you need to. There's so many levels of safety even right now. There's a plate. There's a photo. Right. What else do you need?
Right.
Well,
personally,
is there a better electronic solution to the problem?
Well,
maybe.
The color I think is good.
Yes,
but it's not allowed in all markets. That's the issue.
True.
It would not hurt for better background checks on drivers.
Yeah.
They don't catch a lot of things.
Yeah, well,
as of now.
Well, the Uber driver in Kalamazoo that killed all those people, clean record.
No, I know it's not going to solve everything.
Right.
It just could potentially help a little bit.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Right, yeah. Again, if you have a clean record, it's not a problem.
The guy in Kalamazoo, it wasn't his fault. It was the app's fault.
Well, he told him the devil.
Yeah.
There was something with Satan.
The app told him to kill those people. That's what he said.
I don't know.
But,
anyways.
There are little things to be done, but at the end of the day, you're getting in a car with a stranger.
Right.
Risks are associated. If you don't understand that, don't use the service.
Well, I'd be interested if you ride in a taxi or a public bus.
Right.
Are they background any bit more than what we probably are? Probably not. I don't know. I can't say for a fact.
They have those CDL. Right.
Yeah, they do have a CDL, and they have to get a TNC license. There's more hoops for them to jump through.
Yeah, more money hoops.
And bus drivers are drug tested, I guess. That's another thing, but
once
when they get hired.
Did you see the article the other day about there was a bus driver? She was picking up kids, and then she bought two beers, and she was drinking beer.
So
in a koozie.
Basically she went before she got the kids, and was drinking before that. Yeah.
I had picked up some passengers
during the drive.
Oh, with the kids too.
Yeah. They have camera footage that you.
Jeez. I picked up a passenger who had just gotten back from Norway, actually. And she said their bus drivers, every bus they got on, they all had to breathe into a breathalyzer for every single time they left a stop to get the bus to move.
The drivers did?
Yeah. Every time. So apparently they must be maybe that town was having a problem with drunk bus drivers.
Well, Scandinavia in general has a problem with alcohol.
Right. So
Denmark is the happiest people in the world. There's a reason for that.
So she's like, yeah, every time the bus left a stop and wanted to get going again, they had to blow into it every time.
Are you sure it wasn't that bus driver?
Maybe, but
if you went in multiple ones, so
right.
All right, the next up, excuse me, is kind of a funny picture about an Uber Eats pickup. It says, delivery pickup, Uber Eats. Drivers, please tip your in-store coworkers. Thanks. Okay.
Baloney.
All right. this whole tipping thing. I mean, we can get in a huge conversation about it. But if you're getting paid a regular wage,
ban the tipping industry.
What?
Ban the tipping industry.
I go both ways because when I used to wait tables, what's so funny about that?
No, nothing. When you used to wait tables. Come on.
I know what's funny about that.
How you do?
Yeah.
No,
like
so
you and Ben do, and we're not here.
anyways, when I used to wait tables, I would get good tips because I kissed ass and I provided a good service. I understand getting rid of it. It would be helpful too. But what's the fair wage that they're going to pay those servers? Is it going to be minimum wage? Is it going to
The
be
same wage the cooks get paid? They work just as hard.
Yeah, they do. They do, but they
as
don't.
a cook, I say that.
No, because I don't think they work as hard because they don't have to have that customer service part of it.
Yeah, so even then, servers could make more.
Yeah.
But servers also aren't literally burning their hair off their face either.
Well, if you're burning your hair off your face, you're doing something wrong in the
Not
kitchen.
always.
So
Sometimes it's hot.
Just saying.
It's just hot. When you turn a pizza in a hot oven, sometimes it's just gone. It's just gone, man. It sucks.
Have you had some traumatic experiences?
I haven't lost eyebrows, but it's been close.
I've lost like singed eyebrows from a grill, kind of doing
exactly.
the old.
Or
Well,
like
that was
your
in my own
forearms,
house.
Though my forearms often lost hair. Often.
You're like traumatized.
It's a hard life.
You should see a therapist about that. All right, so this douche canoe is I think he's a drunk cop, but we're gonna watch a video on that pulls a gun on a rideshare driver.
An Orange County deputy put in handcuffs and taken to jail. Investigators say it's because he pointed a gun at a Lyft driver. That driver told police he feared for his life. News 6's Clay Lepard is live at the Orange County Sheriff's Office now where the deputy worked. So, Clay, does he still work there?
Eric, right now we're told by the Sheriff's Office that Deputy Troy Hayer has been relieved of his duties as a deputy. Well, this investigation continues. As to why this all happened and what led up to it, there's still a lot of unanswered questions. A 5-minute Lyft drive turned into a nightmare early Saturday morning for one rideshare driver. Court paperwork details how a Lyft driver picked up off-duty Orange County Deputy Troy Hayer along Narcoossee Road and drove him home. After the deputy was dropped off inside this gated community, investigators say that Lyft driver remained parked outside while he filed a complaint with the rideshare app for sending him to a far location. But while he was filling out the report, investigators say the driver looked up and found Hayer pointing a gun at him while saying, "What are you doing here?" Detectives say the driver thought he was going to be shot and killed. That's when the driver told police he drove away and called 911. Detectives say Hayer did not want to talk about what had happened and instead told police, "You're either going to arrest me or I'm going back in the house." Investigators say when they arrested Hayer at 4 in the morning, officers smelled alcohol. Now, the 45-year-old deputy, who has been at the sheriff's office since 2005, faces 1 count of aggravated assault with a firearm. In a statement to News 6, Orange County Sheriff John Mina said, in part, "These are very serious criminal allegations. As law enforcement officers, we must be held to the highest standards of conduct, whether on duty or off duty." While a spokesperson with Lyft told News 6, "Safety is fundamental to Lyft and we have a strict no weapons policy. We have permanently banned the rider from Lyft and stand ready to work with law enforcement." It appears that deputy is no longer in the Orange County Jail. We've learned there is also expected to be an internal investigation done by the Orange County Sheriff's Office, in addition to Orlando Police's criminal investigation. In Orange County, Clay Lepard getting results.
You see, Clay didn't have jeans on. I think that's the first thing I thought of in that story. I was like, oh, they screwed that other reporter. They panned down. The guy had jeans on. So...
Alcohol.
Well, of course, alcohol. But the funny part was I laughed about is the Lyft driver reporting email. Why'd you make me go this far? Like, who even does that?
Plus, I mean, does Lyft have any foot to stand on for banning the passenger? He wasn't a passenger when he had the weapon. It was after the end of the ride.
That's true. You don't know if he went inside to get his weapon, or I'm sure he was carrying it.
But again, the incident occurred post the ride.
Right.
So really, I don't think Lyft has any grounds to stand on for that.
Well, what's weird...
I mean, it's not okay that the cop did that by no means.
Right.
But
what's so weird is he probably was so drunk he didn't realize that was his driver and was like, get out of our neighborhood.
Or he was terrified. He was not terrified, but not concerned he was going to be robbed by the driver at that point. You hang around someone's house to dropping. That's how that dude keep going back to people's houses.
Yeah.
After dropping them off at like the airport and going to work, and then goes to their house and breaks in.
That's true. If he was just sitting in the neighborhood, that's actually a good tip. When you drop,
I don't stay in neighborhoods.
Well, if once you drop your passenger off, if you're gonna do something, go to the next street. If you're gonna email,
I don't want to creep people out. Like, why
Right.
is that car still sitting there? Like, what's going on?
That's such a good tip to do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got lost.
Just for the sake of not having the cops called on you.
Right. So I think it was last weekend, a lot of people were having some InstaPay issues. And tell me what's wrong with this picture. Not only were they... So what was happening, one of our guys in our group, John, he got a notification that that his cash out was successful. He goes, I don't do InstaPay. He just gets the direct deposit.
Right.
Well, I guess it was a huge issue nationwide, right, on that. But it says the payment posted. The date says Wednesday, December 31, 1969 at 7 p.m.
That's why I think they were hacked and it was a joke. 69.
No. So
who still does that?
No, it's not that. So here, the thing about that date, if you
he knows.
Oh, here we go.
Facts.
He's gonna bring.
Yeah,
we're
we have
dumb.
to be enlightened.
Yeah.
That date is Unix date 0. That's
nerd alert.
Yeah, I know, but.
Well, you can explain what that
is.
is.
Did the nerds choose that day because it ended in 69?
No.
Oh, he's got to Google it.
Yeah,
he's going to enlighten us when he's got to Google it.
Hang on.
He knows just enough to tell us we're wrong, but not enough to tell us why.
Right, we challenged him, and he's like, "Oh shit, I gotta Google this now." All right, we'll wait for you. I'll see what I'm gonna.
But anyways, it's essentially the same as there's no date. So what happened is it was a bug in the system, and when the moment they were trying to post, the transfer date didn't come over.
I guess when you says that's considered 0, why that date?
Because that's where it all started. So basically, Unix date starts from a certain point in time, and then it's always just every second counts up by 1.
So they just decided that's when that form of counting started in.
They just said it's 1969.
That's the computer version of the birth of Jesus. That's 0.
Well, is
that AD?
It's Unix date is what it's called. But yes, that's where it all starts, and so 0 now is always that date.
Actually, that's interesting to know.
Yeah.
It's still called bullshit, but I'm just kidding, buddy.
But it was just the way that it went down with John and his bank. I mean, Uber was asking him a lot of personal questions.
Yeah, I think he had
like identity fraud questions.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, especially if you're a full-time driver and you're depending on that money and someone cashed out. You're like, I didn't cash out.
Right.
So hopefully, I mean, he did get it cleared up, but
yeah,
hopefully no one else. If they did experience, they did get it cleared up. So just a funny picture about the snow. So there's 2 types of people. Someone looking through the blind says, I shouldn't drive in the snow. And then the picture below, it actually kind of, I think it's a Ford Mustang, but it kind of looks like a DeLorean. Doesn't it look like the DeLorean a little bit? And then there's a text that says, wee, which one are you?
You're the wee.
No, I'm not. I am not.
He's an aggressive driver. He's not we know that.
Well, I'm not an aggressive driver. I got a beard hair in my mouth.
I think Chris would be a wee, though.
Yeah, I think he would be a wee.
He keeps saying, I want this
John
so
is
bad.
a wee. I think John is a wee.
I think he handles it well. I don't know if he gets enjoyment from it, but he certainly handles the snow fine.
Yeah, I think John would be a wee. I used to be a wee, but now I'm like,
I shouldn't drive in this. Like, I still will because I have to pay the bills, but I shouldn't.
Okay. Well,
why not?
Because she doesn't like to. Leave her alone.
Because I've already had 2 cars totaled this year. I don't need a third.
Yeah, well, didn't have anything to do with snow.
No, it didn't.
So Uber is now.
And then you have this consumer alert as Uber reportedly wants to start listening in.
Forgot it was a video. So this has kind of been a hot topic. Uber wants to listen in, which they already are listening.
I'm pretty sure that is stuffing upstairs, and it smells wonderful.
I know.
I'm so hungry now.
I know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go out and drive tonight. I might just
eat all the stuffing overnight.
Food coma coming up.
Yeah. Pre-Thanksgiving, everyone does it. So this next video is about Uber recording the audio. And so we'll just watch the video and kind of talk about it. But there we go.
And then you have this consumer alert as Uber reportedly wants to start listening in on customer rides. The Washington Post reports the ride-sharing giant is going to start testing this out, recording what's being said inside of the cars in Latin America in December and in the United States soon after. The company supposedly wants to make the recordings to provide better security for customers, but implementing the plan in the U.S. will be challenging. States have different laws regarding voice recordings and privacy. Uber has...
What? Ben?
That's it. Okay.
I guess we're done. I'll blame Ben. He did the video. He's not here to defend himself. Yeah, like Jesper said, they're probably already doing it, but they're going to... But actually, if they were, that's illegal. I mean, if that's why they're going to have...
if it's not in the terms of service, then yes, it's illegal.
I think... Here's a weird one. Facebook's always listening.
Right.
And I don't know where I authorize that. Like, if we start talking about...
It's probably in the terms of service.
Oh, yeah.
If we start talking about something tonight...
there will be a prompt for us to purchase something tomorrow on Facebook.
But, so I don't think they're actively doing it, but they're going to have a hell of a time in the States getting it, because each state has the different rules.
Right. And I just feel like if they were already doing it, they'd be using it against us.
Well,
no, when people went to appeal, like, oh, I didn't say this or I didn't do that. Well, we have audio that says you did, so see ya.
I think they would have a lawsuit. It would be so bad.
Right.
Have you heard, and I've seen it from time to time, that Uber's offering a dash cam?
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't know if it's legit.
You don't think it?
I don't know. It could be.
I think it is legit in certain markets, but I would never buy that. I'd be like,
no, I don't want them to be able to watch me whenever they want.
Well, and the funny part is you don't have access to the files.
Right.
Uber has them all.
Yeah, they're all cloud streamed.
Yeah, I'm like, no. I mean, I want to keep my file if I need to have it.
Right.
So.
And they just don't need to watch you pick your nose in the car. Because honestly, would you keep using your bottle if you knew Uber was watching?
Why did you bring that up? What if we haven't talked about that?
It's a serious question.
Actually, I would. I don't care. Put it on YouTube for all I give a shit.
Do you use the bottle with passengers in the car?
No.
All right, moving on.
Uber. Hey, I was going to drop it, and then I shared you that video from Amazon, or the article about Amazon, and you're like, oh, well, what's wrong with this?
Yeah.
So now it's not dropped
Well, you didn't
anymore.
have to bring it up on this podcast. Uber London.
Ride-sharing service Uber has lost its license to operate in London over safety concerns. The city's transport authority has cited several breaches that put passenger safety at risk, saying Uber is not currently fit and proper. But the company has vowed to appeal the decision and now has 21 days to do so. Uber can continue to operate while the appeal process is underway. Let's get more on this from our correspondent.
She likes his voice because it's a male
process.
No, it's just British.
Yeah, so was the other ladies.
No, it wasn't.
You think
it was
that was a
Californian yuppie voice. That's all it was.
That was not. No. I think we need to go back because that was
wasn't British.
I think you're very sexist, Sam.
I don't care.
Ride-sharing service Uber has lost its
over.
license to operate in London over safety concerns.
You are not useful.
The city's transport authority has cited several...
I hit stop instead of pause. Yeah. This is the old app, by the way.
Breaches that put passenger safety at risk, saying Uber is not currently fit and proper. But the company has vowed to appeal the decision and now has 21 days to do so. Uber can continue to operate while the appeal process is underway. Let's get more on this from our correspondent Paul Brennan, who joins me now from London. This is a huge setback, Paul, for this popular transport option for consumers. Why have the Transport Authority refused to renew this licence over safety concerns?
It's the latest episode, Sahel, in a long-running battle between the transport regulator for London, that's Transport for London, or TfL as it's known here, and this disruptive new cab company that entered the London market in 2012. What TfL have said in this latest rule, first of all, the license to operate in London by Uber was due to expire at 1 minute to midnight tonight, and it will expire. They've decided not to extend that license to operate. And the reasoning for that, and I'll read you some of the statement that TfL have put out, is because while we recognize that Uber has made improvements, it's unacceptable that Uber allowed passengers to get into minicabs with drivers who are potentially unlicensed and uninsured. Basically, what TfL found was that there was around 14,000 occasions where drivers who were not necessarily the same driver who had been given the license to operate were picking up passengers. It arose from an anomaly within the Uber system, which allowed unauthorized drivers to upload their photograph to the profile of an authorized driver. And essentially what TfL is saying, well, the Uber systems are clearly not secure enough.
This is obviously then a running battle that's going to continue for some time. But what happens in terms of the appeals process, and when will that be concluded?
Well, Uber has 21 days to lodge an appeal, and then you've got a matter of perhaps 18 months, 2 years perhaps, certainly an extended period of time while that could possibly go through to court action. Uber says in the meantime it's been vigorously updating its software and its processes. A statement from Uber saying we have robust systems and checks in place now to confirm the identity of drivers, and will soon be introducing a new facial matching process. But in the meantime, they're going to have to actually firefight this legal action, although in the short term, what we're looking at is Uber continuing to operate on the streets of London, even though TfL are trying to stop them.
Certainly a story that we'll continue to follow. For the moment, Paul, thank you.
So,
what the hell?
Yeah, so apparently people are... The
I didn't know.
Photo system is not very good.
Well, they're talking about, they have that here.
Yeah.
The photo thing.
But apparently it's...
No, they weren't. That's not what
I think
got hacked.
I think the story's old.
No, it's not. They that's what I thought too. I'm like, how does London not have the face? No, they're talking about.
Do. They're uploading other photos.
No, I think they're doing that on the account, not the. I'm talking about the random.
Right. Yeah, I'm talking about the random.
Yeah, I don't think they're talking about the random.
Okay, that's what I mean. They could just say that this one person made the account and they took a picture of their friend, and their friend is the one driving.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then I think it would happen here then too.
Right, and it probably does.
Well, we haven't heard about it. I thought it was more safety stuff like, oh, we've had assaults and those kind of things.
No,
but
they just don't know who's picking up who.
Well, yeah, that's a problem.
That is a problem.
I mean, 14,000 times.
But when they mention that, to me, that just means that when somebody is using someone else's account, they're buying the account and they're uploading their photos, and it's not actually matching the original one, but their system isn't catching it.
That seems like basic coding to do that. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, some of the picture, the one I submitted last week, like as soon as I went to take the picture, my head turned and it was a complete blur and they passed it.
That's crazy. Maybe that is it, but
so
nutty. Just real quick, I want to mention the patron account. Let me go back.
That John kind of mentioned he was going to join and then didn't follow through on.
When?
Last week.
He did?
He's like, I want to be the number 2. And I was like, sorry to break it to you, John.
Well, we need a number 3.
Yes,
we offer the
John can be our number 3.
Come on, Johnny boy.
He doesn't want to be after a girl, you know that.
Okay.
Now who's being sexist?
Yeah.
John is, obviously.
Well, you get the behind the scenes audio, you get a gig economy podcast and free merch. That's at the level 10, and the level 5 is just because, you know, you love us and you love the free content and entertainment we provide. It's just something to help us pay the bills because obviously all this stuff costs money. It's not free. So if you want extra content and some free merch for being a $10 subscriber, then please do. It's patreon.com/GRRideshare. My hotkey didn't work earlier. Oh, there it goes. I have a hotkey, so I just hit F1 and it goes back to the main screen.
That's nice.
You're so fancy.
I know. I'm moving on up.
Yeah.
So tip time. Who wants to take that?
I can take it. At 2 tips at Thanksgiving. At the end of each ride, tell your passengers, thank you for riding with me today. Gratitude communicates your thanks to passengers, but it also gives you a dopamine hit. All natural mojo to keep going late at night.
Now? Can anyone guess who?
Ben wrote that.
I was gonna let the people on Facebook and YouTube guess who wrote that. Yeah, he's such a lover.
I know. And then Thanksgiving night before are not the biggest bar nights of the year. Trust us, we've been at this for several years. Don't sacrifice time with your family to be out driving over Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it earlier. I mean, it is a good night. It will be a good night, but it's not the end all be all.
No. For me, it's still New Year's Eve.
Yeah, New Year's Eve.
That takes them all.
So interesting about the thank you, and I think I've talked about this before. When a passenger gets out of a car, to say to them, you've been a 5-star passenger, thanks for riding with me. And he thinks that he gets more tips for that because people in their head think, 5 stars, they go rate. Do you guys do anything like that, or you just say thanks, have a good night?
I always say stay safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something that, like, have a good night, stay safe, whatever. It depends on her. If I know, like, one girl I knew for a fact I was dropping off at a blind date, and I was like, have fun on your date.
Yeah.
I'm sure she didn't, but
I'm sure she didn't either.
Things like that. I try to relate it back to the ride if possible.
Yeah, or the conversation.
Right.
That's what I think is huge. If you guys talk about a trip they're going on or whatever, and you're like, have fun.
If you can tie it in, that's great.
Yeah, because then they think, they were actually listening to me. But I think about saying that, the 5-star thing, but then every time I go to do it, I'm like, I just took this person to work. Like, they don't give a shit about
and I don't think it'll matter for the college kids, like, going out to party. I don't think it's going to affect them.
I think it's probably more of a different clientele, like maybe your airport passengers or business trip passengers.
I mean, on the other side of it, you tell him that you're going to give him 5.
Correct.
So maybe
hopefully they feel obligated to do it for you too.
Yeah,
it's kind of cheesy though.
Well, yeah, it does sound.
Super
that's
cheesy.
why I said I thought I might try it, and then when it's time to do it, I'm like, this sounds stupid in my head. I don't think I'm gonna say it, but I do think relating the conversation back to them at the end is huge, though, because then they know you actually were listening and not just driving and making small talk.
You could do the other way around. You could do, hey, thank you so much. You have been a 1-star tonight. Spitting on my floor and
because
complaining about the music.
No,
now get out of my car.
No, she liked the Goo Goo Dolls when that was playing. My girl. All right, we're gonna jump into Facebook shenanigans, and then I think someone's gonna drive. I don't know if I'm driving tonight.
No, I'm not. I'm not driving.
So this is interesting.
I have a favor to ask of you, Jesper. Sorry, you can keep going.
Does this need to be on the air or off the air?
It can be on the air.
All right.
Oh, can you put my new wipers on for me?
Yeah.
In the rain tonight? Oh. Will you do that for her?
Of course.
All right. I still have my pajamas
$20
on. So $20. See, that's how he gets the extra tips.
That is exactly it.
So I saw this online. It says perfect ride in parentheses, but the 20-cent. Okay, so sorry. This is a comment on a rider to a driver on his account. Perfect ride.
Whoa.
Taking your time there, buddy. Come on.
Is there a horse
I'm
in
trying
here?
to set up the.
Okay.
Keep going.
Perfect ride, but the 20-cent wait time is unfair or mistaken since I arrived at the pickup location 2 minutes before the scheduled time. So I'm deducting that amount from the intended tip. Now, I only posted it because I thought it was super douchey, but
yeah.
Oh, and it is super douchey.
Right. So I'll let you kind of explain it because I don't quite get what you're saying.
So what I'm guessing here has happened is, so I've got scheduled pickup rides before where the scheduled pickup is between like 5:30 and 5:45 in the morning.
Right.
And Uber calls me at 5:20 to get there. So I'm there on time. Once I get there at 5:20, by 5:22, I am starting to get paid, even though the scheduled pickup isn't until 5:30. At 5:22, I start getting paid. Even if they come out of the house at 5:28, which is 2 minutes before I had to be there,
right?
They have been charged for a full 6 minutes of wait time at that point, which this passenger doesn't think is fair. If you weren't supposed to be there till 5:30, why should I pay you for any minute prior to 5:30? And it's because we're sitting there waiting for you because Uber makes us. And we don't get to decide that. We don't get to say, hey, we're going to charge you for this time. That's not on us. If you have a bone to pick it with Uber.
Right.
Right. But don't you think that Uber should pay for the fee and not
if they're going to make us get there super early like that, it should just come out of their cut and not be passed on to the passenger.
Well, let's be reasonable. It's 20 cents.
I know. It's petty. It's super petty.
That's why Uber probably doesn't think it's a big deal.
Right.
Because it's 20 cents.
But
if the driver got paid.
You do every ride.
Well, right.
But it's super petty to be upset about that little amount. But at the same time, if you schedule a ride for 5:30, I also understand not wanting to pay for a driver prior to 5:30.
True.
Oh, absolutely.
You're right.
I get both sides of the argument. I just think they're a jerk for taking it out of the tip.
Yeah, because you're basically the food is bad at a restaurant and you take it out on the server and it was the cook's fault.
Right.
Or vice versa.
Again, this is 100% on Uber. You should have called Uber and said, hey, I got in the car before I was supposed to. Fix that.
Why would she even take the time to write that?
I know.
Or she or he, I don't even know.
Or making a point.
Yeah.
Making a point and probably explaining why they left the tip of $2.80 instead of $3.
Well, it's like if you're bitching about, I can't believe she's actually going to tip. If you're complaining about 20 cents, I would be surprised if they actually would tip.
Yeah.
So, this is Ben's. He had one, so I'll throw it up there. LA drivers, anyone else drop off the Hollywood venue?
Hey, you skipped one.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
You skipped the 14 rides today.
Which one?
That one.
Well, yeah, you're next.
Oh,
Ben,
okay.
then.
Okay.
Oh my Lord in heaven!
Oh, I was going in order.
What? Oh, did I not put them in order from the?
Mm-mm.
Okay, sorry. Can I read now?
Yes.
No.
So it says LA drivers. Anyone else drop off at the Hollywood venue for Kanye West church event? I did several drop-offs this morning, and the most were actors from various agencies that were being paid for attending the event. SMH. Is that shake my head?
I think so.
Shake my
I've
head.
never learned what that one is. I just roll with it.
I think it's shake my head. That was disappointing news to learn. I was really impressed with all the media attention of his newfound Christian faith and effort to bring folks to church and been getting. I don't know what that means. I couldn't believe it, but after picking up and dropping off several folks coming into work, it's disappointing to know that crazy world, I guess. I mean, let's just talk about the Kanye thing. Like, you think it's legit?
No.
No, you think it's just an act?
I think every insane thing Kanye West has done very well for him financially, and it's why he keeps doing it. Yeah. He's outrageous. It makes him money. He knows it.
It's one of his best-selling albums already.
Yeah. It's a great publicity stunt.
That's all I can...
that's terrible.
I can't help but think that that's what it is.
Could be, but yeah, I've been seeing bits and pieces of on the news about his church event, but interesting. All right, Sam, your turn. Oh, you're not even ready.
I'm responding to Pete.
You're talking shit on
Talking to Pete. So I did 14 rides today, one of them a personal ride, and I made $638. My first client gave me a $300 tip for my 3 children for Christmas. Must be nice.
Why can't you be happy for them?
I am. That's fantastic.
Sam,
like, that's such a good day. Like, especially, I mean, the fact that she was going to make $338 anyways on 14 rides is already a really good day.
Yeah.
But then you add in that tip to get some gifts for your kids. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, you guys, don't let Sam fool you that she's sweet, because when I got that what are you doing? Falling asleep over there?
No. I'm listening.
Oh, when I got that trip to Detroit, she was like, "You emmer effer." I was like, "What?" I know. But did I say that for your $150 ride for my boss? Did I go, "No, you can't have it. I'm giving it to somebody else"?
I mean, you probably thought about it.
No, I didn't.
No.
I threw it up I tagged like 3 people, and whoever chimed in first got it.
Yeah.
So,
to be fair, you didn't even know I was awake at that. I literally had just rolled over.
I'm surprised you're the one that answered, because I think I
thought Gabe would have poached it.
Yeah,
Immediately.
or Pete, because
Yeah.
he's usually up at that time. But
no, I had just rolled over and looked at my phone because there's usually a barrage of messages from you and Jesper first thing in the morning.
Jesper loves to send messages on his way to work, like every morning.
And I was like, okay, like I can skip class this morning, sure.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those you have to decide right then.
Sometimes you got to prioritize.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just real quick, guys, again, we would love for your reviews on iTunes. Of course, we never bring this up, but you can follow us on social media. We post on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, obviously YouTube and all that stuff. So go to iTunes. Go to Apple Podcasts. iTunes is dead. Go to Apple Podcasts and give us a review. So any last words for these lovely, lovely fans?
Have a great Thanksgiving.
Eat
lots of turkey. Get ready for this challenge. Enjoy your 4
That's
pies,
right.
Justin.
Yeah, that's right.
4 pies.
Yes, we need to get more people in the challenge. So
Yeah, we have 10 so far that have said they're going to commit.
So that's $200.
Yeah, it's 140.60.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
140 and 60 for winners.
That's pretty good. So
Yeah.
all right, guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for some sort of Christmas broadcast.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what
our
we're
only
doing.
December broadcast, I think.
Yeah, because I think we're going to take the last 2 weeks off.
Because it's Christmas Day, so.
Oh yeah, I'm not recording that day.
I'm not
Oh,
either.
you guys are wusses.
So whatever. The guy that's like, I'm tired.
I am
All right,
not. Good night.
Have a good night.